Class is in session, this is the show where knowledge is profit, just so you know. Army Piper, OC Guy, and Trade Fly, bringing crypto news to the whole alumni. It's the word on the market, the one-stop shop for the info you need every time that it drops. The go-to show that you need right now. This is Piper Academy, it's all going down, let's go.
Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to Piper Academy. We got Bitcoin closing back in on $63,000, Ethereum just under $3,500. We got some economic Fed data coming out this week, and it's July 1st. It is the one-year anniversary of me being out of the Army today. All that and more today on Piper Academy. Let's get it, guys. Classes in session. Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Piper Academy. I'm your host, Army Piper. We come at you every Monday through Friday, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, bringing you guys the news, the charts, and the markets, and everything you need to have knowledge, because knowledge is profit. Let's go ahead and bring up my co-host here today, though. I am not by myself. I got OC Guy and the Trade Fly in the house today. What's up, fellas?
What's going on, man? It's good to be here. I am ready to get the week started. We got all kinds of news to look at and some TA, because you know we are bringing that every day. You guys are spoiled, man. You get a good solid 30 minutes of some really good TA. I was looking back on the show on Friday because I go back and watch the pretty much every episode just to see what kind of silly stuff I say every day. And you know, I was like, I dig this show. So little bias, but I'm happy to be here. Let's go ahead and get this started. Got my coffee. Let's go.
Yep. OC, how you doing, man? How's your weekend going?
Oh, it's been a little bit of a workout here. We have another hurricane already forming in the Atlantic, and it's wrapping its way to the Yucatan Peninsula.
Yeah, I was going to actually bring that up. It's looking like it's going to hit you around Friday. So, you know, you're in our thoughts, brother.
Hurricane party.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. Yeah, I went to Home Depot, bought some batteries, bought some plywood, bought some sealant or tar to fix some leaks in the ceiling, so on and so forth. It's been a workout weekend for me. But other than that, hopefully we can see it deflect based on the Gulf water temperature at last minute. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Looking at the chat here, shout out to Scamwick Eric Wallen. He said he called that KAS top to the minute. Yeah, we were definitely talking about that one with all the KAS stuff. We're going to go into a little bit of that today. Crux of Crypto getting a little fight going on X with the developer team and all the people over there at Casplex and Caspa. So you'll find out why. There was an issue. They had some issues. But to be fair, it's a beta test. But also, shout out to Kyle Fields. He said, is anybody else having issues right now on Robinhood? No, Robinhood looks good to me, bro. I just checked it. So, yeah, but hey, shout out to everybody in the chat right now. If you are just joining us, this is the Piper Academy, and you guys can help us out a lot today just by hitting that like button, hitting that subscribe. If you get anything of value from this, then, you know, if you want to share it out to a friend, sharing is caring. But let's go ahead. Let's jump in and take a look at what's going on in the economic data in the news today. Let's get over there, and we'll talk about this stuff. We'll get into some charts. I got to do some adjustment there. You see that ain't right? That ain't right. There we go. That's better. Guys, fear and greed index is sitting at 53. We're at neutral. But you see, we're kind of edging up a little bit there towards that green side, heading back into fear. I think July, we're going to see that a lot. It is my opinion. One man's opinion, not wearing the financial beanie, though, just so you can tell. So it is my opinion that July is going to be a pump month. I talked about this last month on the show that we would likely have a good pump going on in July. And we've got some data that kind of supports that. We're going to take a look at that here, too. Looking at the crypto bubbles on the daily, guys, let's give it a refresh there. You can see ENS, guys, in theory, Ethereum naming systems where you get that .eth, right? They up 21.9%, Chainlink's up 5.4%, Stacks is up 4.3%, WIF up 11.9%, Beam's up 7.8%. Bonk back in the movers again at 7.5% up. But guys, look at Caspa. down 9.4%. Fetch, I told you guys, Fetch and AGIX would likely see pullbacks heading into that merger to ASI token that started today, and that is going to be taking place all the way through to July 15th. I did find out that crypto.com is supporting the merger, even though Coinbase is not. So I did set up a little bit over there on crypto.com so that I can get in on that ASI merger. So, but let's go ahead and jump down and see what's going on in the market cap. Like I said, guys, Bitcoin right now coming in just under $63,000, $62,832 to be exact, $3,400, almost $3,500 for Ethereum there. Solana's sitting at about $147. You can look here and see on the hourly, a lot of things are up. Little small pullbacks on the 8.1s. Overall, things are still green from the Bitcoin pump that we had over the weekend there. But KASPA here sitting at number 24. You can see it 9.6% on the daily, 1.2% on the hourly, sitting at about 17.8. We'll make sure we look at that chart here in just a few. Any big movers? Dogwolf Hat moving up 3 spots again, up to number 42. Sui is up on its way up there, moving up to number 46. And overall, market's not looking too bad. Not too bad. Let's go check a look at the liquidations, guys. In the past 24 hours, 33,800 traders were liquidated. Total liquidations coming in at $109.7 million. Largest single liquidation happened on Binance. 4.3, we'll call it $4.4 million there. Nothing big, no big deal, nothing to see here. Looking here at the economic data for this week, guys, we've got a long lineup, and this, of course, is going to be in the newsletter that's going to be out here a little bit later today. Crux will get that out by this afternoon. But yeah, all of this will be broke down in the newsletter also. We do have a little bit of ISM manufacturing and global manufacturing PMI stuff coming out today, and ISM manufacturing employment. So this is a job numbers thing. Not major data. The big one's going to be the Fed minutes this week, guys. And we do have Powell speaking tomorrow. I'm not sure where he's speaking at. I'll have to do some research on that, but that's going to be tomorrow morning. So we will have that. Be mindful of it. JOLTS job openings. We're going to get that report tomorrow. Looks like right now that it's going to be lower than it has been, but not by much, about 0.1% there. So be watching for there. And then the big one, it's going to be here, right here on Wednesday at 12 p.m. my time, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is going to be the FOMC minutes. For those that don't recall, as we've discussed before, what this is the FOMC minutes is when they do the verbatim, word by word minutes from the previous FOMC meeting. And this is when we're going to get that data. A lot of really smart people get in there, dive in, dissect the wording that they used and see if there was more hawkishness or dovishness. So we might get a breakdown analysis on that on Wednesday that causes a little bit of market shakeup. So be mindful. And then non-farm payrolls and unemployment rate will be coming out on Friday. So that's what we got there. Let's go ahead and jump over here back to Trio Cam because I do want to talk about a couple of things here. One, this week we've got on July 4th, Independence Day, guys. On Independence Day, on July 4th, we're going to have Amy Lives Crypto on. We're going to be talking about freedom money on the freedom holiday. That's what we're going to be doing. So, and then check this out. On Friday, fresh, hot off the press news here, 5-man show. Tradefly, you're on Friday?
I'm on Friday, but good
OC,
Lord.
you're on Friday?
Cricket.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm on Friday.
Okay, so there you go. Crickets on Friday. Now on Friday we've got Blackie Chan, BC Port Corp, going to be on, and Lunar Beaches Crypto all LBC. On Friday. Yeah, so it's going to be a major show. It's going to be fun. But Alex O Crypto, shout out to you, man. It's Canada Day today. Matter of fact, let me jump over here and show you this because I actually already had it saved. Let me go over here. News. There's the news. All the news is fit to be news. Let's go to my bookmarks here. I got it in here already, man. I had you. Where are you? Where? Maybe I took it out. I lied to you, man. I'm a liar. I had it in here. Oh, right there it is. Look, right there. Alex O Crypto, happy Canada Day. So shout out to Alex O. Love seeing you in the chat, man. So I guess since we're on here, let's go ahead and talk about a couple of things. One, we had the Caspa stuff yesterday, guys. So they did their launch, and Crux knows all of this stuff way better than I do, but I tried to get on there and mint some. So yesterday, the main net for Caspa on Casplex, I believe it was, or Casware wallet, you moved your Caspa over there, and then you were able to mint your Caspa into some meme coins. There was Nacho, KCat, some other stuff, right? Crux had laid out step by step. This is everything you need to do. Do all this stuff. You'll be able to get these, right? Maybe you get the next Brett coin. Who knows? I couldn't mint anything. I know one of our members was able to mint a little bit of Nacho, but it was an absolute cluster over there. I will say this though, it was a beta test, guys. They did not have a test net. They did this directly on the main net instead of a test net. And they gave it the full run gambit, and they know what they need to fix on it. But I got to show you guys what Crux was over here saying. He said, for those not in the loop, Caspa is getting smoked right now. Nobody is able to mint. Way too congested. The network is getting tested for the first time. The block DAG that solves the trilemma, quote, can't even mint a single one of my tokens. No FUD, just facts. So shout out to Crux, blasting people over there. And he replied back to a lot of them also. It's pretty funny. So what else do I have here? And X marks the spot. Oh yeah, this is a good one. This one just came out, guys, from Kabisi Letter. He said, what just happened in the bond market? The 10-year note yield is now up over 20 basis points since Friday's intraday low. That's 20 basis points in a matter of hours without any material news. For the first time in almost 5 weeks, the 10-year note yield is set to break above 4.5%. The bond market is trading like rate cuts got canceled and the inflation is on the rise. Are bonds telling us something? I don't know. We'll have to keep an eye out on that. Be watching for all of that data that comes out this week on the inflation number side. Anything that can be giving us an indicator, we'll be watching. So make sure you're tuned in right here on Piper Academy so that we can get you that info. And then last but not least, I want to show you guys. Yeah, we're going to go into it. Come here, you. Let's talk about this. So I was going to show this article a while back, and I didn't fully understand it for transparency purposes. I didn't understand Fed liquidity fully. So I was doing some research, and then by the time that I got it all down, I was like, you know what? This is done in past, but I'll just tell people July, I think we're going to have a pump month. And you guys remember me, I said that numerous times last month. I think July is going to be a green month. This was one of those factors that was in my head when that was all going on. And it's Bitcoin price may rebound in 10 days. And this was from the 20th. That would mean the 30th. That would be yesterday as Fed liquidity rips higher. Okay, I just want to touch on that because we're going to jump back over to X. And I'm going to show you this U2, US M2 money supply. It's turning up, guys. They are turning the printers back on. That means liquidity is flowing back in. And it is the fuel for the bull run is loading. Few understand this. Charts never lie right there. So this is all playing out. I just wish that I had understood it when I first read it so that I could have gave you guys a better breakdown on it. But there you go. That is what we have going on there with that liquidity run. And this was all like they saw this coming, some very smart people. And then we'll get into this after we do some Bitcoin charts. So thoughts on any of that stuff I just showed you, the M2 money supply, that printer being turned back on, which is funny because you always see the picture with Jerome Powell being the guy that does that. It's actually not him. It's Janet Yellen. Janet Yellen turns the money printer on. Her little short stubby arms looking like a T-Rex just printing out money. So
yeah, I'm about to yelling at Janet, but yeah, dude, I don't know. Like that's honestly not, it's good news kind of for stocks. Usually you'll see stocks go up when they start printing money again. Bad news is the deficit is just out of control. And I'm trying to figure out like that just hurts inflation more. So if you're trying to get inflation under control still.
Well, remember though, our biggest export is our inflation, is our debt. So it's our US dollars. So
yeah, well, I don't know.
As long as we're sending it back out. But we could be getting a lot of it back, just so you know. All those countries buying gold, they're using US dollars to buy their gold. And that, excuse me, that puts that gold back into that US dollar back into a system, which could leave the global reserve and come back to the US reserve. So I
It's
don't
so
know. We'll see.
complex, man. It's so
It is.
complex. And like, it's really
And
hard to
convoluted.
understand what little factors are going to drive, things in a negative direction. But, I mean, it's interesting. It's something to, I guess, add to the equation. But I think the bigger hitters are probably going to be when Jerome Powell speaks, to be honest, and when we have these FOMC meetings and the inflation numbers, and they're all going to change anyway. So who the hell knows?
Who the hell knows? So yesterday I posted a post on X. You may recall that post, Tradefly. Let's
the
jump
Bitcoin
over
one?
to it. The Bitcoin one, yeah. So I
Yeah, I don't
sent
like
this
this
out
one
yesterday,
at
guys.
all.
Put out this post yesterday evening about 7:30 my time, so 9:30 on the East Coast. And I said, hey, the telling moment is upon us for Bitcoin. Price is closing in on the dynamic reactor. That's right there. The 100-day moving average. That's that yellow line. And the 0.5 fib. That is that 64,200 range there. Do we reject here or are we back? FYI, the last time that we touched the dynamic reactor was on June 12th and it went down since. You can see that right there and down she goes. So I put this out on X yesterday. Yesterday, Tradefly responds back and says, I'm going to sell at 64,200. So technically, if it had hit the top levels at 0.5, if it had hit that 0.5, it absolutely would have been spot on for the call. But even my call of where it could head to did not get hit, guys. We actually went up to about 63,750. If you look, that would have been just under the EMA and the dynamic reactor. We didn't quite get there yesterday, but front runners, front load those trades, and they happen. So that's. But
Your Honor,
okay.
I would like to call Tradefly to the stand for his testimony.
Tradefly, please,
counter argument, please,
counter
sir. Yeah. So if you look at the daily, which is what I was looking at, not the 4-hour chart,
I don't even
we
have
actually got over top of the dynamic reactor, and the dynamic reactor turned green. We did have that little step of resistance there. I did talk about that last Friday, but the bigger place that I was looking for was 64.2, which was the 0.5 Fibonacci. So we got pretty close. You see the wick up, didn't actually close up there, but that's what I was looking at, sir.
It was I said it was a good call, and I said even my call of where it was headed to didn't get hit. Your call would have been spot on if my call would have been.
I wasn't looking at the 4-hour, and that's actually intermediate, like the short term. That was the better play, and yeah, I missed it, but that's okay. I'm still in profit, so this is what I'm going to do. This is full transparency. What I'm going to do, so you guys know, I'm just going to lock in the profit that I have. So I have my entry. I'm going to lock that in. I'm going to move my stop loss up. So guess what? Tradefly is on house money. Not really caring at this point. We're going to be all right.
Sweet.
We're going to be
That's the way you do it. That's the way you do it. Take your profit of your original amount, run on house money, and just let it ride. Keep your stop loss moved up as it goes. I think you're going to be okay, though, and I'm going to show you why. Also, I need you to share your chart with me, Tradefly, because I don't have your heat map, which is going to be needed here in a minute. Oh, yeah. So let's go ahead and check it out here, man. We are getting a bounce here right just above that 618, guys. You can see that we were front ran here. It looks like they might be front running here just a little bit. But one thing that I want to point out is that we do have on the 4-hour, we are starting to get a ribbon flip here. We are starting to get those red Heikenashis. Watch for a bounce down here to about 61,700. And if you really want to be truthful about it, shout out to Alex, though, because he did drop this in his community earlier. But I have a little bit of a different number than you do on my CME gap. I'm actually looking at us to come down to 60,325. We do have a gap here from Friday's close. I believe that you have it up here, but the candle actually closed here. So the gap is all the way down here from where we opened at this morning. So watch for this area here to get filled this morning. And if we do come down, it's looking like $60,300 there on that CME gap for closure. And then if we look at where we currently are, that 60,300 would be right about here. So this would be the level that would be happening at, somewhere in this ballpark here. So it is what it is. Risk-free trades. Yes, risk-free trades are the best. But that's what I'm seeing there. If we do get that pullback, guys, it's that CME gap closure most likely. And I'm looking at 60,300 here, which would also let all of this stuff cool off. So let's go ahead and kick it over to TradeFly, take a look at his heat map and see what he's seeing there for liquidity. But I'm seeing 60,300 on the downside. I'm seeing upside of around 64.5. There you go. What do you got?
Right on. So liquidity, where is that sitting at? You can see there's actually a lot of dark spots, and this is on the 3-day, just for your essay here. But right around 63,850 all the way up to about 63,950. That's kind of where your liquidity is sitting on the top side of price action right now. So that's people that are going short, because if you look at it right here, you can see that this zone was a little bit lighter colored as it came up and reached this area. And now people are starting to pile into shorts. So there is an expectation that price action will move down and right. You have all of this clear area. I mean, I'm not going to call this really a hot spot. You don't really start getting hot again until about 60,600, and that's not an area we want to see again right now. So I would say the closer of the two areas is really to the top side, even though you're starting to see that little bit of a reversal. Tying it into the chart here, going over to 64,000, which is right here, just under the 0.5 Fibonacci retracement. And we really didn't get too far away. And like I said, people are now piling into shorts once they got this wick. All right. So you get this wick, you go short, and then you set either your stop loss or your liquidation price just over where you think is resistance. So it could be a small play, high leverage, expecting the price to go down. What you do have though, this is on the daily. Okay, so this is going to be a little contrary to the 4-hour, because the 4-hour is right here. Just to the top side of where Piper was pointing that out. But you do have the dynamic reactor sitting right here, which has flipped green on the daily. You also have the value area low. So you have two things right now that actually could act as support. Again, I kind of talked about this pressure that was building up and right last Friday, and we did get a little bit of a pop there. We do have this support range that's been here since February. So again, we have a few things that can hold us up and act as support. I don't really get too scared until we start breaking these ranges and we retest it on the bottom side. So if you see something like this where it breaks out of this range, retest, and then goes down and right, that's where I'll get a little bit more nervous, and then we could see at least revisit this area at 56. So right now though, I'm not really freaking out. Like I said, we got a bunch of support here. Not my entry, but where I'm closing my trade is going to be about 64.2. At least that's my plan right now. And that's just under the 0.5 fib retracement. So that's what I'm seeing. Coming down the prime oscillator, you can see that's going green and that's going up and right. And I did talk about this reversal and trend here, this little green triangle. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking at. There's some prices for you. Flip it over to OC. He's probably got some good stuff for you.
What you got for us, brother?
Absolutely. I got a couple of things in here happening. I wanted to do a really quick analysis on what I had on Bitcoin. And also, I'm going to go and jump to 30 minutes because on Friday, I was taking a 30 minutes entry, which actually played out very, very nicely. So the first thing that I want to call your attention to is that we already have a higher low, right? And absolutely, we already have a higher high. So we are on the divergence, on a way to breaking the structure that we are seeing right here, which is a downtrend, right? We also see a little bit of a range. Remember that we were also looking at the Wyckoff charts in here. Well, I'm not going to be pulling them up at this point, but the important thing in here is where are our order blocks are located, and also that I'm seeing right down here a goose head. Remember that for me, a goose head is usually a continuation or at least a pullback for then a drawback down in the future. Like, for example, look at this goose head. What happened right there? We had a little bit of a drawdown, right? And then a pullback to the upside before moving downwards, right? We have a secondary goose head right here. Look at what's happening here. We went a little bit down, and then we have the little pullback, which wasn't, yes. And then, which, by the way, in this case, wasn't that high, but we did have that pullback, right? And then movement to the downside. And we can see this repeat over and over. Look at that good head going up, pullback to the upside before moving to the downside, all right? So what I'm expecting here is that we have our final and last opportunity to break through the dynamic reactor before a couple of other targets at the bottom, as Piper have shown, started being taking I don't know, relevance on my analysis, right? So what I'm seeing here is that I could be having a little pullback, and if I can make it through that loud order block and then retracing to the secondary soft order block and into the dynamic reactor, I think we're gonna be absolutely going nuts this week. Something important I want to bring up here, it is my spaghetti. Pay attention on where I was expecting to go up, right? Exactly to that order block and dynamic reactor, and then also expect where I am expecting to go down, right? So also look at my trade. Let's go to 30 minutes very quick, and I will explain you my entries. Right here, you can see this pennant. I was entering right there. Let me show you very quick. This was entry number 1 right here, and I was aware that I was forming or I could be forming a bearish pennant, but I have flip of the ribbon right here. I was at the bottom of the range for Wyckoff, and I also have some support right there. So what I did is I did enter, although since I was bearish, well then what I do, I cut my risk to half. I enter with 50% of my entry right there, and then open up a secondary entry right here, which averaged my position down, respected my stop loss, and then taking TP1. Just for the record, I have it right here. Yesterday at midday, I was telling you guys that I was taking profits TP number 1 for the record right there, and also right here. And then somewhere around these areas on the retracement, I was taking TP number 2. Right now, I have nothing to lose and expecting a further movement to the upside in the 30-minute chart. Other than that, turning it back to you guys.
Oh man, just put a
Awesome.
stamp on it.
OC showing his receipts there. I got receipts, bro. So guys, one thing that I do want to point out, and I showed you guys a little quick teaser of this. Let's jump over here and take a look at the news. So this is a Bitcoin monthly return. Shout out to Ali. He put this out. Historically, when Bitcoin has had a negative June, it tends to bounce back strongly in July. In fact, Bitcoin has shown an average return of about 8% and a median return of about 9.5%, 9.6% during that month. So you can see here in June, we got red month, green, followed by green July. Red June, followed by green July. Red June, followed by green July. And almost without fail, actually every time that we've had a red June, we've had a green July. And you can see some of them have been as high here as like 24%, 18%, 21%. But what we do have is that if you average all of these out, it comes in at about 8% to 9% to the upside. So I am thinking that we're going to see a green July. We've talked about this all the last 2 weeks of June, that we would likely see a green July, and that's what I'm sticking with. So shout out to everybody in the chat right now. I see Crypto Billy in here, the Billy Goat Tells. By the way, guys, if you're not tracking, tomorrow night, you've got to be on Billy Goat Tells on the X Spaces. Let me go pull that up here and just show you guys what's going on. Yep, right there. Get ready for a blazing Tuesday night with Billy Goat Tells. Join the elite ranks of Piper Army's finest crypto traders as we dive deep into the market pulse. Guys, we're going to be special guest spotlighted on Billy Goat Tells tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I hope to see everyone there. So shout out to Crypto Billy. And then also the Wicks. We got the Wicks in the house. Wicks and Wicks' wife. They are from over there at the Piano Matty B community, and they just dropped in to hang out and get some alpha. So much love to everybody that's in the chat. Amy Lives Crypto, Alexander G. Everybody's here. I love it. So TradeFly, let's get into some altcoins. What do you think?
Right on. Let's go ahead and bring up AVAX, because I did have a trade open on that one. looking at the daily here, so you can see where I entered my trade.
Guys, let me know in the chat what you would like to see for altcoins, and OC will be putting that list together. So let us know what you'd like to see some TA on today. I'm going to let him do his AVAX, and I'm going to be coming back around with KASPA. So trade fly forth and do great things.
And we're back. All right, so back to AVAX on the daily, and you can see where I entered, and this was my exit right here at the bottom side of the golden pocket. So you can see where this wick was, showing you there was buying pressure there, another wick without a close, but still, I saw the golden pocket, and I figured there was going to be a little bit of resistance there, and we did have that initially. You saw a few rejections, and I don't know if you guys remember Friday, it looked like a lot of the altcoins were getting a little bit of a rejection, a little bit of a pullback. So I went ahead and decided to exit the trade. Well, it did push up a little bit more. So what are we looking at now for AVAX? You want to get on the top side of this golden pocket. So once we break through the golden pocket and we get back into this range, look at this. You can see there's a very clear range if you're just looking at this right here. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of mark it for you. I would say right here where this gray line is, that way I don't have to draw it too crazy, but right about there and right about here where the pink line is. All right, once we get back in this range, you can probably trade that. One of the things to keep an eye on is the dynamic reactor. So if you do trade it, once it gets back into this range, you're going to probably see some sort of rejection off there, a retest, and then looking for that continuation up and right. So that's kind of what I'm going to be looking for personally for AVAX. I do think it has the potential to continue its move up and right. I think it's kind of undervalued right now. Personally, I like this area. If you're going long, like for a hodl bag on Avalanche, I wouldn't tell you not to, not financial advice. But even at the numbers right now, anything under 30 is a great, I personally believe is a great price for AVAX. They have a lot of strong deals in place, and I like the gaming narrative. There's a lot going on with it. It's efficient. It works. You don't hear about AVAX very much in the news because it typically doesn't not work. So a couple key areas for you to look at. You have the point of control. That's at 36, and that kind of coincides with the dynamic reactor. Somewhere in that, you got a little bit of range, 35 to 36. You're definitely going to see a little bit of resistance there. If it doesn't make it through, then you have this top side of the range. That's going to be kind of like your, if we're swing trading here, we're looking for about 39. That's probably where I would look for an exit, because I definitely think there's going to be resistance in that area. You got just a couple things of resistance there, just kind of lining up. So that's kind of what I'm looking like top side. If we pull back on AVAX, if the greater market, total crypto market kind of pulls back, then you can see where there's clear support here. And I got that green line. You see the alert. That is at 22. So if it comes down and retests that area again, I will definitely be looking at getting back into AVAX. And, we could be forming a new range, but kind of hard to tell right now. I don't know why the prime oscillator is not up. Let's see here. Let's see, prime oscillator. Let's go ahead and bring that up. I just want to get an idea of what is actually going on here. Yeah, so it's moving up. It's pretty strong. And then that was another reason I got into this. You can see there's a little bit of a divergence here. Price is going down. The green line right here is showing you that there is bullish divergence. So that's one of my big plays. You have that in conjunction with support, which was resistance. Came down to test it. That's one of the plays I like to get into. That's about what I'm looking at on AVAX. Pass it back over to you guys.
Awesome. Let me go ahead and jump over and take a quick peek here at KASPA. So we got some KASPA updates going on here, but hey, you guys get like 1 second of this. Are you ready? You see this little thing here? It says mobile charts. Watch, it's going to say quantum charts. Quantum charts. Just a little teaser there for you. That's all you guys get for now, but might be coming soon to a chart near you.
It matches my background. It matches my background.
It's amazing. There's some really good stuff in there. Somebody might be working on some stuff in the background. Just saying.
I need it.
Guys, let's take a look at KASPA here. We have a KASPA. We got this area here yesterday. It came up. Guys, this is the box that I had on here forever. I said, watch this range right here. And you guys can see the candle close on the 4 hour, literally on that line right there. And then down it comes. I think right now we have some good support. Let me show you why. If I turn on my trend-based fibs, there you go. We get that rejection there on the phase 10 golden pocket. And then right now we are getting our support on that phase 9 golden pocket. We retested it on a rejection and came straight to this level. I think as long as we hold this phase 9 golden pocket, we're absolutely coming back up. Guys, this was a new all-time high on KASPA. Closing the quarter, the 3-month candle, positive and strong on an all-time high candle. So one thing I am pointing out here, though, is that if we lose phase 9 golden pocket, and it is possible, because if you take a look here, it does look like we are breaking through the zero line. I'm not seeing a change in candles. I'm watching for us to come down and test the dynamic reactor down here, this box range being about 16.1 cent, and just watch this box. Just put this box on there, starting at about 16.5 to 16.1, and that will give you the bounce area that I'm watching for here on KASPA. Even though they had that issues yesterday with their main net, a lot of people went right back in. For transparency's sake, and I told this yesterday on Lunar Beaches Swim, I jumped into his live stream with him yesterday. I did sell at the rejection up here my KASPA and went into Bitcoin. I picked up this morning 200 more KASPA into my bag. So there you go. I switched that Bitcoin back over, did it all on Tangem. Super easy, super convenient, barely an inconvenience. So
I hope you guys are listening, because you know what I just did with the number Piper gave you? I just set an alert right there. I drew the line. Now I have my alert, and I can add back in right there where he said, right there. See that green line? There it is.
There you go.
See my little clock? That's easy. All you got to do, just so you guys know, you go over right here on the left here, see horizontal line. There's a couple ways to set alerts, but this is the way I like to do it, just because I like to see it on the chart. And then once you get that line up, you can actually go right here to where the clock is, click it, and then you can add it, save, boom. And that way you will get notifications on your phone or on TradingView if you're on to get a little boop, and then you know your line got hit. So,
you know, I try to stay humble. I do, but I have to say I have been lockstep on KASPA since it was 4.5 cents. So, you know, not financial advice, but historically, these trend-based fibs have nailed KASPA plays. So let's go ahead.
Give him a little shout out. I'll give him a little shout out. Go look at the thumbnail on Friday. Just go look at it.
Oh yeah, there was a thumbnail. Let me see if I can pull that up. Nope, not that one. Not that one. Go away.
Okay, make them work for
it would be
make them work for it.
It would be this one here. There we go. Right there. KASPA all-time high incoming. That was Friday's thumbnail. So there you go.
My man nailed it.
OC, let's see what you got, man.
Absolutely. I have already updated the YouTube live chat on the request. I have our RNDR. Right before I go into deep dive into the analysis, a quick reminder that on the on our Discord right here on the Piper Academy, I posted a couple of things to look at on how to predict the change of markets, right? Something interesting. It is this video all the way down, and I will be recommend watching minute 32. I do recommend watching this whole video. It does explain how things work in the macro cycles, but usually that printing more money and credit, that is usually not the way to go. I'm not saying that we are all the way down there, but that is a little bit worrying to me. Just a little shout out on that one. All right, so take a look at what we got on RNDR. We are basically on a never-ending ranging here. Nonetheless, looks like a pretty range to me, because as you can see, we have very well-defined lows and very well-defined highs in here. We could be trading the whole range. Just so you know, I have it, right? Another important thing is that when I start turning on my indicators, here we go. We already have a pattern asymmetrical channel in here. Not only that, I have huge support all the way down here, and I am retesting the top of that symmetrical triangle. Another thing that I want to pair that with, it is the goose head that is happening right there. So yeah, we have had another goose head here, which did not actually play out. The pullback was there, right? But it wasn't a higher pullback. Nonetheless, it was that pullback before going all the way down. So I could be maybe expecting some sort of the same, but since we have a too close of that dynamic reactor in our smart target number 1, I will be maybe pushing for a breakout through that dynamic reactor. And if we can hold it, well, then that will be a great news, because we could be bouncing off the dynamic reactor there is not there yet. So remember, one step at a time. Just to finalize things in here, let me pull up my order blocks, and as you can see, we just have a bunch of soft order block. And when we can see the marching of them both, it is right here. Once again, if I have the flip of the ribbon in here, completing the goose head, well, then I could be having a bounce and then a reverse a lot of these areas, going for the previous resistance, becoming a new support. Other than that, RNDR not looking bad, but we're still bearish. So turning it back to you guys.
Awesome. Let's go ahead and kick it over to TradeFly. Sorry I didn't have the widget up. I just realized I had an error on it, and I fixed it. So your widget is back, folks. Your widget is back. That's the little ticker at the bottom if you don't know.
Right on. Yeah, looking at Solana on the 4-hour chart here, trying to check this out, just kind of live here. We have a previous range, all right? So you have the point of control. It was extended out. So just to give you a little context, I got the dash lines there for a minute. But that was right in line with the dynamic reactor. So you can see it was, it popped off. So that shows me it's probably a significant area. It got underneath of it. It was resistance. I think if I remember correctly, I was anticipating if we saw a rejection for it to kind of push down and right, if I remember correctly. But look at this. It actually popped through, and now you have the dynamic reactor turning to green. So what I'd be looking for with Solana is, since that point of control, let me go ahead and redraw that here. Looks like, there we go, horizontal. Let's put that, there you go. All right, so what I'm looking for right here, now that this is green, we're on the top side of the dynamic reactor, and you have a little bit of a little area of support, is I would be looking for a retest of the area and then for movement up and right. However, what you're probably going to run into pretty quickly, as you can see, actually it did get rejected off of this area, is the value area high of that previous range. So keep an eye on that. So just to give you some numbers here, or numbers for price action, it's 151. I would see short-term movement up to there, but you're going to find some resistance. Your support area with the dynamic reactor is about 143. Shout out to Alexandra G, gifting 5 Piper Academy memberships. Let's go ahead and see who got them. Louis B, Ion, John Foster, Crypto, Tesla Pilot, and let's see, Black Chain, what'd you say here? I wish the PC made cute noises on notifications like my phone does. Yeah, that was my boop. Just so you got your trade alert. I'll see if I can find that official noise there on the audio board. And then Warrior 4588 was also gifted a membership. So if you guys aren't over in the Discord, come on over. There's all kinds of perks over there, and it makes you eligible for some giveaways. And Alexandra G, we really, really appreciate you. Much love. Throw some hugs in the chat there for Alexandra G. She is the best mod in the house. We love her. So,
speaking of those memberships, Alexander G actually just gave 5 people a chance to win $100 in crypto, because the first Friday of the month is coming up. And so it looks like I actually think we're going to do it, the giveaway, because we're going to have so many people on Friday. We've got Lunar Beaches Crypto and Blackie Chan on. I think we're actually going to do it on Thursday. We're going to do the giveaway on Thursday with Amy Lives Crypto. So Crux, I need that list on Wednesday night, not Thursday night, please, good sir, because you manage everything so awesomely. So, but yeah, we're going to be doing that giveaway on the 4th of July with Amy Lives Crypto on the show. $100 in crypto coming out this week. And Alexander G just gave 5 people a spot on that list. So let's jump back over to your chart and finish that up. Shout out to Alexander G, though. Much love to you.
Yeah, I'll keep it kind of quick here. So basically, looking at the prime oscillator, look, you can see it's trending up and right. So we're building strength going into this move. You did see an area of resistance here. We broke that area, came down, retested it. What I'm seeing right now, structure-wise, is showing me a bias up and right for Solana. So that's what I'll kind of leave it with you guys there. I gave you kind of a topside number in the short term. And then, you got a couple areas of support. So your areas of support, 144, I think or 143. It's probably going to be your stronger area with dynamic reactor. But if it does fall through, don't be scared of a retest right here. You can see there's multiple hits of support right at about 139. So, if you want to set an alert there, let it come to you. But I think the structure right now is kind of showing me an up and right movement for Solana. So that'll obviously be based on the rest of the crypto market. It's not moving, separately. It just seems to be flowing kind of with the pattern here. So that's what I'm looking at with Solana.
Awesome. Let's jump over here to my chart. I'm taking a look at stacks, my request here. We've got stacks. Stacks is just dumped so hard from the top here. We had a zero line here that we had pulled a fib on, and you can see that it was at $3.84. It's currently down at $1.69. So that drop was a combined movement of, let's go see here. To its current area, that was a 56% drop. It is fighting right now with this area of the platinum pocket, which is the 887 at $1.71. But you can see we keep getting our rejection here on that value area low. Excuse me, I had to sneeze there for a second. Fight it off, fight it off. It also in that area is the dynamic reactor coming back down too. So I'm going to be watching closely for this area that we're in right now to get a little break up above this 887 and then hit above this dynamic reactor, giving us a little upward movement there, guys. But keep in mind, even if we get above that area, we do have this resistance box here. I guess I should turn this red now because it was green. I said, watch this area for support. You can see it traded in there, and once it lost it, that's where it went down even more. So I am going to be making this red now. That way we got that as a resistance box. And then the one thing that you need to be watching for there is that we have the point of control. So even if we get above this value area low and get up past that dynamic reactor to the 786, we have a major resistance here of the platinum pocket high side, which is the 0.786 fib at $1.95, almost lined up on confluence there with that point of control from this big strange volume profile. Now, I will say that if we drop to the downside at $1.65, we do have another level here that's a volume node on this fixed range volume profile that could give us some hopium. But as of right now, guys, stacks looking a little bit bearish, especially when I come over here, we take a look at the 4-hour on the oscillators. We do have a little ribbon flip here. It looks like it could be happening, but this might be a goose head. So shout out to OC. If we get a goose head there, that's going to be that play, and that's going to be a top side $1.97. $1.98. Watch that area. If this is a full ribbon flip and a reversal like we had here, then hopefully we stay sideways just like we did here. But we're getting this red RSI prime candle here and getting what we have going on with the resistance above us. I'm pretty bearish on stacks right now. Might just be one of those opportunities that you look to grab some up, because overall I am quite bullish on stacks as a whole. It is the it's the network token over there for Bitcoin, so it's important. It's got a use. So OC, let's kick it over to you and see what you got going on, man.
Absolutely. Hi-Fi Illuvium. So it seems like we're back on gaming, right? By request. So I have a pretty beautiful, to be honest, YKF pattern in here. Everything is kind of like the same. Like, just because Bitcoin, it is following the same structure and we see it pumping, seems like everything is responding to Bitcoin, kind of like I'm mimicking it. All right. So we have that range, that we have the V-shaped recovery, we have the high, not higher than the previous range. In fact, I will be adjusting this range right here, and that will define a very nice range right there with the top overextensions and lower overextensions. All right, so it seems like at this point we are breaking the range to the upside. Remember that we're still below dynamic reactor, and our prime score is pretty bearish, so we're still bearish. Nonetheless, this is the first thing that we need to look at for a change of scenario. Right, so breaking the range, finding support. We need to see this becoming a goose head. Will be pushing it to the upside to the dynamic reactor before we keep moving downwards. So I don't think that gaming tokens are ready just yet to start making the push to the upside. I think they are going to be oscillating for a little bit more, and that's because we don't see or we haven't seen other kind of movements in the space, right? Neither Illuvium have done anything else to push it through that dynamic reactor. So if we start looking at our indicators, here we go. We can see that this is not only a dynamic reactor area. We also have a resistance, and also right here at the bottom we have another support area. So we're still within that range. Let's take a look at what else we have on order blocks. Here we go. The worst case scenario for me would be going back down into this louder order block. Well, it's not the worst case scenario, but a not preferable scenario. We'll be going to this loud order block and then bouncing up. I still believe that we're going to be bouncing back up, especially since we're coming from the bottom of the range all the way down there. And we have a loud order block. Remember, not because it's thinner means that it's weaker, right? We have a high order block and then a much stronger loud order block, just being very compacted right down here around 65.32. So that could be a position to start looking maybe for a short, small position long, because remember, at this point, we are still bearish. All right. Other than that, turning it back to you guys.
Awesome. Yeah, I want to pull up here and take a look at Injective. I'm just doing one thing on here real fast. Extend to the right. There we go. Thank you very much. Let's take a look at Injective here, guys. We are in the platinum pocket right now. That is the 786 to the 887 there. That is this platinum box here, guys. 887 is about $22.38, and it has been this little box that we've been inside of is inside of the lower half of the 786 for, going since last Monday, the 24th. I'm going to be watching for something here because we do have a value area high coming in right here on this current range. Matter of fact, let's pull this back just a little. Excuse me. Allergies have been kicking my butt here in El Paso. It's been so dusty and windy lately. So here we go. Value area high is actually sitting at the top here. We got a value area low coming all the way in at the bottom here at $19. So I do believe that we're probably going to see Injective hold around this 887. Matter of fact, from its current range, we're just going to put a box here. Let's go grab a rectangle box. We're going to put this box right here over that dynamic reactor down to this point of control. And that is going to be the area that I think is a good accumulation range. As long as we hold this, we're good. If we lose this point of control, guys, then we are heading down here to that 1-to-1 line. And we'll go ahead and drop a box here on that also. That is going to be our that's going to be the prime collection zone if I had to say this is where we accumulate the most. But right now, watch for it to hold this point of control. We do have indications showing up here on the oscillator that we are about to get a ribbon flip here. This could be a goose head, but this one does look like it's going to turn into a ribbon flip and come down. We do have a huge Heikin-Ashi candle, and you can see very small candle there, very big candle right there next to it. So that's typically when we see this play out as a ribbon flip and not a goose head, which if you don't know a goose head, it comes in, goes up higher, given that looks like a little goose's head right there, the little beak. So there you go. That's what I'm watching there on Injective. Let's go ahead and kick it over to OC. And we've got time for about one more from each of you guys before we wrap it out.
Absolutely. So also, guys, we're going to share in the chat if you want us to take a look at something else. If not, we're going to be pulling up something out of our sleeve today, or something that we are looking at. Here we go. We have Tia for the upcoming analysis. It seems like we already had a big analysis for the long term. I do remember this analysis. It was on daily. It was on the classes. What we were looking at, it was a bounce out of this area of confluence that we had built up right down here, and also a breakout after not holding above the dynamic reactor. So what is the next area of support? We've been on this next area of support for a long time. Oh, come on. There we go. And we have not yet broken it. Something important to note is that we are at the bottom. I would not be at this point getting ready to buy, because look at the previous weeks that we have had on those areas. We kind of like touch it and then retrace or reverse. In this case, we're not doing that. It's kind of like looking like we want to keep breaking downwards and into the next area of support. So let's see how far could we be going. Here we go. We have a falling wedge. And yeah, I mean, as long as we don't break the center of this channel, I think we're still fine. And this could be a Wyckoff late spring before we ended up breaking to the upside. But I'd rather go and wait for to have a absorption zone like this, or a wick all the way down here. So let me also bring up something else to see what else could I be expecting on those areas. Let's see if we have some order blocks. We don't, and seems like that is basically it. Let me just bring up my support and resistances. Let me see if they work for me, because I might have removed them. And here we go. Come on. Yeah, it seems like I removed them. All right. So at this point, let's just add from before. We do have this area of support, which is where this area is coming from. Once again, if we lose this area, we could be going all the way down to previous lows, which I don't think at this point it's going to be the main target. I actually believe that we're going to be holding this area, especially somewhere around here for the worst case scenario. So I would wait for bullish confirmation if you're trying to long this, or at least wait for a breakout of this trend line that we have. So breakout of the trend line, retest, and then off we go with a flip of the ribbon and a break through that zero line. Other than that, turn it back to you guys.
All right, Tradefly, what you got for us, man?
Right on. Got a Ondo up on the daily. So you can see what I was looking for here on Ondo. And the reason I was looking for this bounce here in this area, this little support range, is because it was resistance, right? This is, man, I mean, talking about like holding a range and actually flipping what was resistance into support. This is probably one of your clearest examples you're going to see on a chart. Ondo is looking pretty, man. It's going up, finding a range, going up, finding a range. So hopefully next move is up and finding a range, right? So keeping an eye on it. But right now we're at the point of control. So point of control is sitting at about $1.2 $1.20. So I'm not sure that I would really enter anywhere right here. I'm going to wait for it to find either resistance or support in this range. And if you're looking for a scalping or an intraday type of thing, that might be an opportunity here. So low side right now for the range, value area low is going to be 1.11, but really your support area where I would actually set an alert, like if you're swing trading, would be down here in this range. So again, this is more intraday scalping. Down here would be more of like a swing trade. And then for an exit, you're looking at about $1.30. Don't really have like a lot to add. Like I said, range, move up, range. Hopefully it moves up. If not, you just fall back down into this range and you start playing that if you're doing intraday or scalping. One thing to look for, if it does break out of this support area right here, it comes down, retest, and of course you got the dynamic reactor going here as well. But if you start seeing that move down, then you're definitely going to fall. I'm not going to say definitely, but you're most likely going to fall back into this range, or at least retest the top side here, and that is going to be at about 88 cents. So keep an eye on that. But yeah, there's a couple important things for you to look at on Ondo. Do want to give a quick shout out to a couple people actually. One, I don't know if you noticed, I'm rocking some swag today. In and Out Crypto. I finally I got my swag here. So I got I don't know if you have it still up, you got Tricam, but yeah, come over to inandoutcrypto.com. You guys can use our code. That's down in the description below. Save your guys 10% there. And if you guys are heading down to the Bitcoin conference, he does have some swag made for that. Also, want to give a shout out to Warrior4588, who gifted 5 Piper Academy memberships, and Marco CTR, Tio, Pipa SN, Warner R, Drew, and Donato Cabrera was gifted a membership. So shout out to you. Giver's gain is in full effect. Warrior is my fellow aviator. Let's go. Let them fly, baby.
And I'll tell you what, since we had 2 gifted members, 2 groupings, 2 5-packs of gifted memberships today, in addition to doing the $100 that we give away on Thursday, on July 4th, we're also going to give away a t-shirt on In and Out Crypto. So you guys can go over there and take a look. You can tell me what you want, your size, t-shirts. It can either be like the print shirt or like what he's wearing, the all over print, and send it to me and with your address in the Discord, and I will get that sent out to you. So if you guys are members, In and Out Crypto merch given away on Thursday and $100 given away. So there you go. That's how we roll, guys.
Giver's gain, baby.
That's right. That's right. I'm not here to make no money. I just love to give away shit.
I'd rather give away
guys.
money.
What's that?
I'd rather give away money.
Yeah, that's what I meant. You know, you
I
got
know.
any
I
of that
know.
shit?
I
You
just
got any
teasing
of that
you.
free merch, man? Guys, take a look just before we go. I do want to remind you guys, if you see us pulling back on Bitcoin, it's the $60,300 range that we're going to be watching. That's the CME gap closure. I do expect for it to go down there and close that out. It would be another good area for a rebound and a bounce, and would be very bullish in my opinion. So I just wanted to point that out as a closure. Tradefly, what do you got for the people on the way out?
Hey, I hope everyone has a good start to the week here. I got my coffee and stuff, so I'm ready to get in some trades. I'm just kind of waiting for things to get there. But as always, it's great mixing up with you guys. Love being in the chat. I hope everybody has a great day, and I will pass it over to OC because you know he is about to tell you what happens if you smash that like button, and I know it's going to be crazy. So I am just waiting. Dude, I'm telling you, it's like my favorite part of the show now to see what he's going to say.
Turn on your closed captions. Here it comes. What do you
Yeah,
got for us,
I'm turning them
OC?
on right now. I'm literally
Absolutely.
scrolling up real
Just
quick.
show my charts, please, because this needs to be shown. Perfect. Talking about giving away shit, right? Shed Express. Not sponsoring. If you're watching Shed Express, sponsor, it's ready to go. Guys, click that like button. If not, I might be sending some shit to you with a ton of love, of course. And also part of that shit goes to helping animals on zoo. So also take advantage and send some lovely shit to any of your friends right there. Again, not a sponsor, but click that like button or you might get a little present from me.
Oh my God. What have I created on this channel? Guys, we'll be back here tomorrow morning. I am celebrating again, if you missed the beginning, today is my 1-year anniversary of being out of the Army. July 1st, 2023, I said sayonara after 22 and a half years, and I've been a civilian DGen ever since. So I'm happy to be here. So 1 year. So, but tomorrow morning, July 2nd, we'll be back here to see if these markets are continuing to pump, and taking a look at the news and the data and all the economic things you need to know, because knowledge is profit. We'll be back here tomorrow morning. Until then, guys, trade safe. And as always, use a stop loss.
Just stop.
I don't know what they keep telling me. I don't know what they keep telling me. Ain't no school like Piper Academy. Ain't no school like Piper Academy. We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling after wheels fall off.
I know you hungry for knowledge, that's profit appetite. Classes in session, this for the Army Piper acolytes. Trade flag at the soul, train ready. What a line from OCI, form a Mexican spaghetti. Yo, crunch crypto with a deep dive to reject dime. And if you like the visual powered by Car Prime, then you were part of that alumni, that's all spine. But if you have step, fall back to offline.
We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling after wheels fall off.
Sound off. To get with them, the ZTS rhythm. Rip it, Alexandra.
Yeah, that's my alumni, you know what I mean?
That was awesome, dude.